So actually, I like being here at conferences like this because I get to see Melanie, who I don't see every day. Melanie's actually been really influential in my career and my come up because you introduced me to a conference series in Digital Summit that I speak at just about every month, and that's given me prime opportunity to speak to CMOs and to marketing executives all over the United States. So thank you so much for hanging out here at Social Media Marketing World. But let's talk about you. Let's talk about what fuels you, what drives you.
For me, it's all about storytelling. Let me try that again. For me, it's all about storytelling, right? Like, I started out as a journalist. What I love is being able to help other people love storytelling as much as I do. I think the biggest thing people find is I don't know what to tell stories about, and you never have a newspaper that just doesn't come out. They're like, oh, sorry, we couldn't find anything to write about today, right? So I want people to have that same mindset, that there are stories everywhere, all around them, and if you could find the right ones, you're gonna be able to connect with people in a way that you couldn't before. So I just want people to care about it as much as I do.
We keep hearing about storytelling. It's become a buzzword in marketing terminology, but what's the difference from your perspective from marketing and storytelling?
You know, marketing, as a general rule, you have a sales goal somewhere attached to it. Storytelling, your goal is generally to help convey some sort of information. And it's a subtle difference, right? Like, so much of our marketing is giving information. How much is our product? When does it come out? Like, all these informational pieces about our content, about our products. But when it comes to storytelling, you generally have some sort of higher purpose. Like, I want to entertain people, I want to inform people, I want to inspire people. So if you can have that subtle shift, it'll change the way you think about all the stories you could be telling.
Yeah, I often say, like, the key word in storytelling is story,
Yeah.
and you have to narrate. So if you're just expecting people to buy from you because you look good on camera, or you're personable, you're a nice guy or girl, that's not going to cut it.
No.
You have to walk people through the progression, the journey. That is the story.
Exactly. One of the things I always say is content marketing is a lot like dating, right?
Yes.
Like, if you are only...
Business in general is like dating. Like,
It really
this can
is.
sound really bad, but like business is like hooking up.
Yeah, well, if you're doing it that way, it is, right? Like, and I always say, like, if you're just putting out content that only talks about yourself, if you're just constantly talking about yourself and your products, like, you're that guy in the bar who never asks the question and only talks about himself, and no one wants to hang out with that guy. So what you need to do is think about your audience. Like, what do they like? What do they care about? How can I take them on an adventure or give them an experience that they're gonna enjoy? And if you're doing that, you're gonna form much more deep connections, much longer lasting connections, and ultimately, hopefully, that's what it's all about.
So, you know what, let's talk about connections for a moment. I'm gonna throw a curveball at you.
Yeah.
Should you be focusing on building your own community, or should you tap into other communities that already exist?
I think,
like, basically, should you tap into other people's connections?
I mean, I think it's a smart thing to do, to use the connections that you have to accomplish those goals. I think which one you should be focusing most of your attention on really depends on your goals. If you have no network for yourself right now, and you're only relying on other people's network, you're building a house on rented land. You need to have some sort of community of your own. That being said, there's also incredible power in other people's communities, especially if there's common goals that are aligned there, if they have an audience. If they have an audience that you want to reach.
So she just, like, infringed on our community. I just want to go ahead and point that out twice now. And we're not going to edit that, because that's an example.
You just
like,
go with the flow.
That is a real life example of what you could be doing on social media right now. Like, you've got Facebook groups, you've got Twitter chats.
And you're like, buy my thing.
You have these Twitter groups nowadays. I think you've been tagged on some with me where like 50 people are all tagged. You could swoop right in there. You could self-promote yourself. You could add value to those people. You could go into a Facebook group right now with 20,000 people, and you can say, hey everyone, I'm Carlos, this is what I do. Or, hey everyone, I'm Melanie, how can I help you? There's no one that's stopping you from doing that. So I'm personally a big fan of stepping on other people's rented land. Because no one owns anything.
So I think you can definitely, and you should, show up on those rented land. I think you have to remember, why is the audience there though, right? Because, like, if you're just busting in and, like, talking about yourself and not providing value first, like, that could come off as self-promotional. That may not be the vibe you want to be giving out. But if you're like, why are people here? Why are they gathering? What do they want to know? And you can show up and bring value, then you don't even have to say, buy my product. They're going to want to, because you're showing up and giving value first.
Here's what I say. Everyone is on this network for a reason, and it's all for their end game.
Right.
Like, no one's on Facebook just because they feel that they are on Facebook for charity reasons. Like, no one's running a nonprofit here, and even the nonprofits are trying to raise money. Like, at the end of the day, everyone's on this for a reason. Everyone has an objective. Everyone has an end game. The key is to see how you fit into people's end game.
Exactly, right, and that's what I mean. Like, if you show up, you recognize people are here because they want to accomplish X, I can help them accomplish X, then you're value first. If you just show up and you're like, hey, buy my thing, like, you know, they're gonna see right through that, and again, they're after their own objectives, so if you don't put yourself in the path to their objective, then they're not going to hop on board.
That's real talk.
It's real talk.